Hotel Rwanda is a film that depicts the events that occurred during the Rwandan conflict of 1994. It explores the deep-seated tensions and historic rivalry between two ethnic groups, the Hutus and the Tutsis, which rapidly escalated, leading to large-scale riots. The assassination of the Hutu president acted as a catalyst, bringing the suppressed hatred and prejudice that had always existed between the two communities to the surface in the form of mass violence and destruction. The film's protagonist, Paul Rusesabagina, a hotel manager, finds himself in the midst of this conflict as refugees seek safety in his 4-star hotel. Despite the risk, he uses his resources to navigate the challenging circumstances of dealing with the army general, the insolent employees, the press, the UN peacekeeping forces, so that he could finally secure the safety of 1,268 refugees. What is remarkable about Paul is that he himself was a Hutu, but the majority of refugees he saved were Tutsis, the very people his tribe wanted to exterminate. He was able to see way beyond ethnic interests, something that almost everyone else in his tribe failed to see. Although the film portrays the devastating impact of tribalism and ethnic conflict, it also highlights the human ability to courageously transcend tribal identities and embrace a shared humanity. One can define tribalism as the practice of identifying strongly with a particular social group which is often based on shared ethnicity, customs, or history. Tribes serve as a mechanism for social cohesion and provides a sense of belonging and security for individuals. In this sense, tribalism can be seen as a positive force that fosters social unity and solidarity. But tribalism can also create a sense of exclusivity and promote the idea that one's own group is superior to others. It views members of other tribes as inherently inferior, which leads to a lack of trust and cooperation between them. This creates an us versus them mentality, which leads to deep discrimination and prejudice. Over time, this does escalate into violence, particularly if there are underlying political or social tensions. The phenomenon of tribalism is often exploited by politicians and other leaders who seek to gain power by appealing to people's tribal loyalties. Throughout history, we see leaders using fear-mongering or miscommunication to create a sense of threat from other groups, which stokes ethnic tension. Ethnicity and Tribal Theology, Problems and Prospects for Peaceful Coexistence in Northeast India is a book by Songram Basumatari. He looks into the dominant ethnic identities and the resultant inter-ethnic conflicts of the 1980s in Northeast India. He looks into the need of holding in tension important aspects of tribal identity. On the one hand, a need to safeguard respective ethnic identity against the dominant hegemony of others in order to establish security. But on the other hand, a need to promote peaceful coexistence among diverse ethnic groups. Basumatari states the importance of individuals rising above their own tribal identities and to look at commonalities with other communities. It isn't giving up on one's tribal identity, but to refuse to make it the ultimate marker for engagement with others. It is to recognize that individuals are unique and should be judged based on their actions and character and not their tribal group. He calls for people to participate in activities of other tribes and work towards a shared goal which can help build connection and promote understanding. In the movie, we see that Paul Rusesabagina is able to see beyond ethnic identity because his wife, who he deeply loves and understands, is a Tutsi herself. She is from the very tribe his tribe is fighting against. But after years of living together, raising children and setting up their home, he comes to see not only the uniqueness in her own personality, but breaks the ethnic divide that tribalism inevitably forces on people. He understands that these divides are arbitrary and artificially set up in the minds of ethnic groups. That true human interaction will expose the lie and inevitably dissolve boundaries.